Welcome to the service clinic at Low Country Harley-Davidson. I'm Doc Harley. Well, the results are in. Gotta thank you guys for all the input you have given from the last video I did and asking what chain lube do you use so I can get a good idea on what I should use here at Low Country Harley-Davidson with the Pan America. Unbelievable results. All right, the top number one winner, I should have a drum roll, shouldn't I? I don't know. The top number one was PJ1. That just kind of blew it out. The second was a very close Maxima chain wax and then Bel-Ray. So those are your top three. But what really got me was I got over 30 manufacturers of chain lube from all over the world. I was amazed. I hadn't heard about 30% of this stuff I hadn't heard from. And what really took me away is the old gear oil that used to be used back in the panhead days, shovelhead days, still being used by people. Undoing their chain, putting a warm chain in the gear oil, letting it sit overnight, and then putting it, cleaning it, putting it all back. That really surprised me, but congratulations to PJ1. I don't know whether it's the cost difference or the availability, but that was the number one choice by you guys. Thanks for participating. It was really great. Let's get to today's subject I want to talk about. For those of you that are going to service your front triple trees, your front fork area, the tools you will need to do that. I'm sure the reason you've taken it all apart is either you bought a used bike and you want to know the condition of the neck bearings, or you're feeling some notchiness back and forth and you want to replace the bearings. Well, here are some of the tools that you will need if you're going to accomplish this with your Harley-Davidson service manual, of course, and putting it together, taking it apart. Here's the very first type of puller that I have used in my career. Let me back up a little bit. When you are going to replace this lower bearing, you want to take a chisel and you want to break the outer cage. Usually I'll break the top part of it and then snip the bottom and then peel it away and get that out of the way. The reason we want to do that is because we want to pull on the upper lip of the inside of the inner race on this. So this is a split bearing puller that squeezes at the top half. Then I've got all thread. The reason I chose all thread back then is because Sportsters, wide glides, touring models, Softails, all different heights. So I needed something that would adjust all the way. And then your bearing puller top on it. And yes, you can do this cold, but I prefer adding a little heat. Now, you don't want to get it blue. You just want to get it warm. So it expands the steel a little bit so it'll pull up. But you only have to pull it up about 2 inches and it clears the interference fit on this tube. Once you get it that, you can slide it up there. Now, this here is the modern tool offered by Motion Pro steering stem bearing tool. Really like it. Yeah, it doesn't take all this mechanism and this works. But what I like about it is a tube that goes down. You got set screws here, and that closes in on between the upper and lower part of the race. Still have to split the cage, of course, but once you get that, you put it all in. It's got a built-in puller on the top, and it pulls it right out. And this tool comes with the installation. That's what we're going to talk about next. When you have your brand new bearing and you're going to slide it, make sure you put it in the right position. Yeah, it's got to go this way, not opposite. You're going down. You have to only press on this inside race. Well, the Motion Pro gives you a tool that fits perfectly. Now, what did I use way back when? I'll show you. A 35 millimeter fork tube. Believe it or not, fits perfectly. And I made it about 8.5 inches tall for all the different sizes. And I would slide this down till the interference fit, slide this above it, take a hammer, my nice 4-pounder, and one little smack. This goes right into position. Now you've got this in the new triple tree setup. Now you got to get this race out of the frame. So we need more tools. Okay? So we come over to these tools over here. Just like over there, that you have to catch the lip. Let's just say this is on the top of your frame. You need these two split pieces. They have a lip on both sides, and it fits inside. One on one side, one on the other. This is on top of your frame. You're looking down at it. That's the way it's set up. Then you've got this piece here that will keep them apart. And that's not easy, but it's part. And then this comes from the bottom of your frame, and you smack it up, and it gets it out. Now, you can also use this tool for putting a new one in, but I like the new tools that are out. This is a lot safer. This tool takes the race and puts it on this lip and puts the other race on it, and you do it by hand. No power tools, please. Slowly hand, that's got a bearing, washer, and these, and it draws the top race and the bottom race into the frame. It is so much nicer than trying to bang it in, because people get it off center when they're banging it in with a hammer. It can't be done this way. It's what we did for many years, but when they came up with this tool, this is so much better because it follows the frame and gets in without taking a lot of metal out. Now, I will show you that most of these tools I've showed you is pre-2014. Here's a late model bearing. Whole lot bigger, where's my other one, than the early. All right, so make sure when you're ordering tools online from Motion Pro or from anybody else, make sure you get the correct year and the correct numbers. And just like the puller, you're gonna get the right piece for pulling in the new races. A lot larger. They went for a lot more area for the bearing in the front and going. So I'm showing you, and yes, Paco, I have heard, thank you for writing me and asking me this question. I have heard and seen on the internet, yes, 2 screwdrivers in, one on each side. Boom, pull it up. In my business, I don't scratch parts. All right, you may want to go that option with your own bike, but I'm not allowed to scratch and to make something look worse when I get done with it. So the screwdriver idea, no. Get yourself some tools that work, that do it correctly, and that can put this, take it apart and put it back together correctly without scratching and ruining everything that you've invested in your motorcycle. I hope this allows you to have an idea. If you're going to replace the bearings on your neck bearing, do you have some tools to do this in your garage? Or maybe you'll save up and buy a tool at a time so you can do it later on in the season. Or maybe this is the reason you bring it to the dealer, because he's already got the tools and can have it done in that afternoon. Just showing you something that you might need if you're going to work on it yourself. I'm Doc Harley. We'll see you next week.